here today. I've been looking forward to talking to you.
Oh.
And you know it. And you know it.
Yes,
But for those of you who don't know, I'm Karen Weaver. And today, my special guest.
Yes, Carol McIntosh, candidate for the 1st Ward City Council seat.
That's exactly right. But you know what? I'm glad you said that because I'm wearing my vote pin.
Yes.
But the other thing is, this isn't your first introduction into politics. Because if you all think she looks familiar, I mean, because you're out in the community. You're out in the community and engaged in the community a lot. But you are also on the Flint Board of Education. I believe you were the president.
I was, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Currently, I'm on the Ethics and Accountability Board. But yes,
Okay.
I was on the Flint Community School Board. I served as the president twice. And it was a great experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to say, out of all the candidates that I'm running against, and there's a lot of us, but I'm the only one that has been elected to a public office. So I just want to make that clear.
Okay. So there's something that you like about public service.
I like helping people.
Okay.
I like helping people. If I can do something for you, if I can navigate for you, if I have to stand up for you, then I'm willing to do that.
Well, okay, and let me see. I've seen that firsthand. I mean, and we've been in some fights together,
Yes, ma'am.
fighting for the people and addressing different causes. But I watched you when you were president of the Flint Board of Education.
Yes.
And I watched you fight, and you were not scared. You did not back down. People knew where you stood.
Yes.
And you were consistent with those kinds of things.
Yes, because when you're serving the public, it's easy to be consistent. I don't have a nonprofit, so
You know what? See, now you jumping the gun because I was going to ask you. We're going to talk about that. Well, because I'm going to ask that question.
yes, ma'am. I don't have a nonprofit, so when I'm serving in a public capacity, I'm there for the people. I have a day job.
Okay.
I have.
What is your day job? Because you've been at General Motors.
28 years, yes, ma'am.
Oh, shoot.
Faithful
Okay.
UAW member.
Okay.
Served in a few capacities on the Local 599 Recreation Committee. I've also served on the Local 659 Black History Committee, and I was also a delegate for Local 659. So I like the people. I like the people, and I like to speak for those who may need a voice.
Right.
Because it's not always available. And I've needed somebody to speak for me. So I've often told you too, you have been an inspiration to me because as the first Black female mayor of our city, you were the first one in the country to go through a water crisis. And to see you navigate that because you got so much heat, so many people were bringing negative vibes, but to see you keep your head up and continue to serve the people was inspirational to me. So
Well, thank you.
Thank
you. I tried to stay focused on, when you talk about what you are there for.
Yes.
What you are there for. But no, that means a lot to me.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's easy to get sidetracked because there's a lot of stuff going on. And believe it or not, there's some people that don't want you to serve the people.
They want you to be sidetracked.
Yes, they do.
Well, then let me ask you this, because you're running for the 1st Ward.
Yes.
Why are you running? What made you want to do this? And not only want to do it, because we see you have the heart for service, because you've been doing that in elected positions, in appointed positions, and just in your spare time.
Yes.
The causes that you fight for. But not only what made you want to run, but feeling council, there's no other way to say it. One of the things, you and I were both at his service, and one of the things you heard over and over, because I know I said it, is his shoes are big.
Huge.
They're huge.
The shoes of a giant.
They're the shoes of a giant. And so you're going to follow in those shoes.
Well, one reason is I love my community. I'm going to say that. I love my community. And I've been in the 1st Ward for 52 years. Okay?
All right.
And my mother lives in the 1st Ward. Okay? So we need representation.
Right.
We need people that are there to serve the people.
Let me write this down.
Yes,
I don't want to forget this question.
Because it is a process that is supposed to be for the people, by the people. And just watching Mr. Mays fight for us, seeing what he went through, and ultimately may have laid his life down fighting for us. I just felt like I had a responsibility to my community, to him as a mentor, you know, because he taught me a lot.
I know he appointed you, so he thought highly of you.
Yes, he did.
Appointed you to what, Ethics and Accountability
Yes, he
Board.
did, for the first ward, yes. And so I knew what he expected from me.
Okay.
And he didn't pull no punches about it. He didn't play that. You know, and he called me up and let me know if he felt like I wasn't on the right track, but I appreciated it because he was a great person to learn from. I often said this to him before he passed on. His public service was second to none.
Right.
Second to none.
And well, I just said what kind of fighter you are.
Yes.
And you are a fighter, but you brought something up when you talked about not having a voice and people needing a voice.
Yes.
And we talk about Councilman Mays, we could talk about Councilwoman Burns, but it doesn't matter the name. But when people are removed from their seats
Yes.
for a period of time. So you all didn't have a voice for a long time.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
what do you think about that?
I think it's unconstitutional, personally. You know, I think it's a shame. I think it was intentional to stop him from doing certain things for the community because he was a catalyst for change. And I think there were some entities that didn't want to see that change come about. So they silenced him. But with that being said, there is no victory without a fight. You know, victory will not be handed over to you.
Right.
Nobody's going to just give it to you.
Right.
Even if they're supposed to, because the ARPA funds were supposed to go to the community.
We're going to talk about that too. Okay, so let me see. Should we talk about the ARPA or should we go back to what you said earlier as far as, and I don't have a 501c3.
Right.
Okay, we'll go there first. Because we're going to talk about ARPA, but one of the things that we've seen there are council people that do have 501c3s, and I'm not saying there's something wrong with that.
Right.
I think where the issue or the question in many people's mind comes up is voting for yourself to receive funds. So you said you don't have one. What do you think about that?
I'm like you. If that is what you're going to do, that's fine. I'm not against nonprofits. Here's my problem. When you have a nonprofit and you're voting for your nonprofit to get money, in my opinion, I think it's unethical and I think it's unlawful. Okay? I think it's unlawful, especially when the federal government has said these dollars, this many of these dollars should go directly to the people, and you're thinking about yourself. How can you be a public servant when the first person you're serving is yourself? You're not the public, you're yourself. Okay? Flat out. Okay? When you talking about the public, that is other people.
Right.
And I think this is the reason why we still have so many tarps on roofs. We still need windows in so many homes. You see plastic
now
under the window.
you know what? So let's go on down that road, because this was when I was campaigning.
Right.
I remember going to so many houses, and homes, and people. I mean, you just want to cry sometimes.
Yes, you do.
Because we know this money is here, and it's to help.
Right.
And I saw so many homes with tarps on their roofs. I went into people's homes and they'd have a bucket in the living room, or they say they got a bucket in their bedroom because the roof was leaking. Their porches, their steps were messed up. Their sidewalks were jacked up. You know,
it make you
windows.
And
And this money was here that could have made such a huge difference for the people, their lives, you know, putting quality in their homes and helping them stay where they are, you know, investing in our homes.
And maintaining the city, because
there you go.
This is the city.
And so if all my money isn't going out the window and under the door, literally to consumers, I have more money for food. I have more money for my medications. I have more money for my children. I might have some money that I can put it back into the community.
Yes.
But those are my thoughts.
Yes. And when I'm not spending my money on my consumer bill, I can afford to do things in my home.
Right.
I can afford to get new cabinets now.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I can afford to put some flowers outside in the summertime. I could be a part of the beautification process, you know, when I don't have to deal with my direct needs.
Right.
So, I just feel like, I honestly feel like the city's been robbed. And I look at everything we went through. We went through a water crisis.
Right.
We went through an ice storm where we didn't get any federal help. We went through a pandemic. Yes, I was going to say. And then we went through the housing crisis.
Right.
Our city has literally been crippled financially. And the least of these, when you cannot go to work to make up the difference, when you have ailments or when you are in a situation of a fixed income, how do you expect those people to recover? It is no recovery for them.
Right.
It is unfair. It's people out here. My neighbor has a prosthetic. Okay, now, if he got to spend his money on his consumers and his this and his that, I often go to the store and ask him, do you need anything? He'll say water, bring me back a case of water. Well, if he didn't have to spend so much money on his consumer bill, then he can afford to get those extra things. I just think it's so sad.
I'm going to interject because you shouldn't have to buy water.
You shouldn't. 10 years in.
Okay,
10 years in. It's sad.
Right. It's
sad, but that's what happens when you don't have a representative that is truly working for you. You find yourself, and you were about 90% done with replacement?
Well, we're about 90% done with it.
Okay,
we were a year ahead of schedule.
Okay, so you left 90% done and a year ahead of schedule, and now we're 10 years in and nothing else has been done. That is what happens when it is a breakdown with your public servants, when they are putting their personal needs before the people. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to act like I don't need nothing, but that's why I go to work every day, and I thank God I'm able to.
Right.
But what about those that are not?
And that's why those ARPA dollars are so important.
Yes, the
for a
least
city like Flint.
Yes. And there are a few ARPA dollars left. Not as many.
Right.
That should. More should be
correct.
There. Correct. But I am definitely committed to whatever is left, trying to get those dollars to our community, to the people. We the people. You are the people. Not a 501c3. Not my buddy, because my buddy got to get in line with everybody else. Okay.
Right.
And I just fought a lawsuit.
Okay.
Against my cousin.
Okay.
Okay. And I love you, cousin. But if you are not right, I cannot support that. You see what I'm saying? Because I took an oath to do something else. And if I hold my hand up to God and say, this is what I'm doing,
that's what I'm
doing. That's what I'm doing. I'm not here to hustle the people. If you want to get rich, do not go into public service.
Right.
Okay, you already. You don't pay a whole bunch of money. You have to receive your payment in other ways.
Right.
When you see the joy on people's faces, when you knock on their door and they recognize you and your work, that's the best feeling.
It's the best feeling. I remember there were some times, and I kept thinking, I said, now why am I going back in there? And I go into the store, and this lady came up to me, and she was an older lady. She probably was 80s. And she came up and she said she just wanted to give me a hug and kiss me on my cheek. Yes. And I said, that's why I'm going in. She was just saying thank you.
Right.
And that meant so much.
It does when somebody realizes your true work.
Yeah.
There people will say so many things, but when the community observes you and tells you thank you. I went to the Baptist convention over at Mount Calvary.
Okay.
And a lady recognized me, and she told me that she had been watching me for so long, and she's watched me on the episode. She said, and I love the way you stand up for the people.
And and that's what people want, is somebody that, like you said, is going to be their voice.
Yes.
And let them know that I'm in here fighting for you.
Right.
I may not win every single fight, but I'm going up.
But
in
I
the
ain't
fight.
scared.
Right.
I ain't scared.
I'm gonna be right up in there.
That's right. That's
win,
lose, or draw.
That's right.
I'm gonna show up.
I'm gonna show up.
I, Carol McIntosh, will show up for you. That is what I will do, and I will definitely speak on your behalf. And I will stand up for you the way I would want someone to stand up for me.
Oh, okay.
That's my commitment to the people. I don't like people that go along to get along, or you've taken this position and now you're in that position and now you're afraid to fight, or you're afraid to stand alone.
Right.
Hey, if this was going good and you wouldn't have to stand alone, people like us would not be necessary.
That's right.
Okay.
Now that's the truth.
Yeah, people like us wouldn't be necessary. So I'm not big on getting in cahoots with other people. I'm a loner for a reason.
Okay.
And that's my reason. Because I don't want to owe nobody. I don't want you mad at me when I don't do what you want me to do, because I probably ain't going to do what you want me to do. I'm going to try to do what's right. And I'm definitely going to represent my community. My community comes first, because I got to show my face in this community. I ain't just show up here.
Right.
I've been here for 52 years. I ain't just started putting in work. I've been working for the people in my union, on my school board, the Ethics and Accountability Board, my own personal funds. I've distributed, trying to help other people. And I don't take pictures when I'm dropping your water off to you. You know, I don't do that. Because I'm also a Christian, and I know people don't want to feel like they're a charity case or a burden. Right. Just because
and you weren't doing it for your picture.
That's right. So I don't post it all on Facebook. I was over here and I did it. I did that. And I did it from the kindness of my heart. And if I made a difference in your life, then my job is done. Right. If I was a positive influence on you, if I've done something positive for you, if I can do something positive for you, then that's the lane I want to reside in. That's where I'm riding. That's where I'm at right there. You know, and then my personal life, God will give me mine. God said He'll provide, and I trust that.
That's right.
And so that's what it is.
Right.
That's what it is.
So what is it what's your vision for the first ward? What would you like to see for the first
I would like to see
where you've been for 52 years.
That's right. I would like to see nice roofs on homes. I would like to see new windows. I would like to see the least of thee that enjoy gardening and putting flowers in their yard. I would like to see them feeling safe enough to sit in their yard. Okay. You see what I'm saying? With their front door open while they're working in the yard and know that they are safe. I would like to see a public safety plan come to fruition.
I was going to say, let's talk about it.
Yeah. I would like to see a public safety plan come to fruition so that the kids can play outside without getting ran over or getting shot in a ride-by shooting. You know, I would like to see it like it was when I grew up. We played double dutch in the middle of the street, kickball in the middle of the street, right in front of our house, touch football, you know.
Right there.
I remember when the first ward was beautiful and kids was everywhere. What happened to the life?
Wouldn't that be?
That would be so nice. That's what I would like to see. I would like to see kids able to walk from one end of the block to another and make it safely. Right. That's all. Safe. Basic stuff. What should be provided to everybody in America? You know, that shouldn't be no big whoop, but it is.
But it is. You know, and it's funny. I remember being in office and some of the things that were happening for the city, and I kept thinking, I was excited about the things we were getting, but I thought we shouldn't have to have gone, be going through a crisis
to get those things.
To get some of these things.
It's rough on us.
Right.
It's rough
said, this
on
is
us.
what any thriving, healthy city, community,
especially water. That's a basic
and
human.
Just some of the things that we were able to bring in. It was nice, but I thought, if we weren't going through a water crisis,
what could we be doing?
Would this have even happened?
Right. Yeah.
And so it was, it was just interesting. It was interesting.
And it's always interesting to see how others respond to our needs. Yeah. You know, that's where the meat and potatoes is. When we're going through, what will the people that are supposed to represent you do or say on your behalf? Will they stand up?
Will they stand up?
Because that pressure is going to come for you to do something different outside of what you should be doing. And I don't care if you don't know anybody in politics. Get elected to something. And you will get so many invitations. All of a sudden, you're important. Oh, so-and-so wants to meet you. Right. For what? Meet me at the board table. You
say meet me there?
Yeah, meet me at the board table where the real work happens. Right. You don't have to talk to me in private. Right. You can talk to me in the open because my assurance to you is if they're not talking about something that will benefit you, I am not interested in hearing it. I am not there for.
And sometimes when you're like that, you're standing alone.
All the time, mostly. Yeah. I'm telling you. Because cash rules. We got to be honest. Yeah. Cash rules. But the grace is everybody is not for sale. Okay?
And that's the good thing, because some are for sale, like the blue light special at Kmart.
Oh my God, isn't it terrible?
It's
Isn't
terrible.
it wide open though?
And people know who's for sale, so it's nice to be able to not be bought.
That's right. That's
but,
right.
But Shirley Chisholm, unbought and unbossed and unbought.
That's right. That's right. You can't run me.
Mm-hmm.
You can't give me a few little trinkets.
Right.
That's all it is.
That's all
it is a few little trinkets.
A few little trinkets.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
A few little trinkets.
mm-hmm. And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this.
Okay.
Even if I was going to negotiate anything,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not negotiating against the people that I've signed up to represent.
Exactly.
I mean,
there's got to be a benefit.
yes, always
In it for the people.
Always. I went through like I said, I was going through a lawsuit, and one of the questions, because I told a big wig, we got our own money because we had got a lot of dollars from the federal government, and they threw that up in my face over and over again. How are you going to make that money back up? We got to figure it out.
Right.
Ain't no selling out. That for me, that's not an
right.
option.
It's not an option.
It's not an option.
Right. So but I can tell just listening to you. But I know you, and I've seen this before, that you've put thought into it before, just deciding
That's right.
I'm going to do this.
Right.
And you've been thinking about what it is, how you want to see things, what you want to do,
What
how
I
you
would
want to
like.
have impact,
Yes.
all of those kind of
Yes.
things.
Because it was good.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Good. I know it can be good.
Mhm.
It is not a facade.
Uh-huh.
It is not a dream. It can really be good. But we have to vote for people who are willing to make it
So
good
you see,
for us. Yes, vote.
I've been wearing
Vote.
this pin because
Yes.
it's election time.
Yes.
And so
yes.
one of the things we know, we don't have a high voter turnout here in the city of Flint.
We don't.
We don't have, and what do we do? Because people need to come out and vote. This election, the one that you're running in for the first ward, is in August.
Yes. Yes. Well, first of all, but I do want to also say this. If you are a felon, if you have not paid all of your fees, if you are on probation, that does not matter. You can vote. People don't realize
Right.
that. That is a major misconception.
It sure is.
And so many believe it because it is meant to be so shameful for you you don't even want to ask. But what I am telling you is, you are not incarcerated. You have did whatever you had to do to be free. And when you are free, you can vote. Take advantage of that because somebody gave it all up for you to have that opportunity.
Right.
And it matters. It matters. You might not think it matters, but I am telling you here today, we don't have new roofs in the first ward because some people didn't think their vote mattered. And it really did. We need you to do your part. And that means showing up at the ballot box and letting your voice be heard, whether you vote for me or somebody else. Let's start with you voting. I would like your vote.
Right.
I want your vote, and you would be glad to give me your vote because I will represent for you. But we've got to understand that just like we put Barack in office, we showed up.
We showed up.
We have to keep showing up. That is why we're so hot at election time. Okay? If we didn't matter, they wouldn't show up at election time.
Right.
Okay? They know that we have numbers and we have power, but we have got to use it. The power is no good if you're afraid to use it.
If you're afraid to use it, if you don't think it's important, you don't think it's worth it, it is.
It is.
It
It's
is. And
definitely
we've talked
worth it.
about, especially in local politics, one of
Yes.
the conversations I've been involved in is how, with some of the council races, how people have won by one or lost by one.
Right.
You know, because
That
somebody
one vote.
won or somebody lost by
Yes.
4, by
Yes.
7. You know, those kinds of things. Sometimes
Yes.
the races are that
Tight.
Yeah.
They are. So with that being said, understand, I'm saying this, in the city of Flint, we have not, because we've not shown up and asked.
right.
Okay?
And so our voice doesn't get taken
That's
seriously. It's not as strong. when they see our
Yes.
records. So I do that, and
Yes.
so that was why I was wearing this. But
And that is also in your judicial system.
Mhm.
You don't have judges that support you and give you the fair shake because you're not showing up at the poll.
Right.
You can select those judges, but see, you and I are from HBCUs too.
I'll see. So that's what.
And see,
I
that's
was
what they
gonna say
teach
that.
us.
That's right.
That's
because
right.
okay, we were both in the state of Mississippi. We were
Yes.
pretty close. We weren't too
Yeah,
far apart.
that's right.
You were at Jackson Station
Yeah, JSU.
with the sonic boom.
Yes, boom,
and I
baby,
was
boom.
over at Tougaloo, so
Yes.
I wasn't too far.
Yes, and that's what I
But-
like about Jackson too, because they've gone through discrimination, civil rights, lynchings, and they stood up. They fought.
Yeah.
You know, even when they were being tricked politically.
Mhm.
You know, some of them didn't even know they was free for. You know, that's what Juneteenth is all
Right.
about. They was free and didn't even know it.
Right.
But at my HBCU, they made it perfectly clear: you cannot be average.
Mhm.
You have to go above.
Yes.
Okay? You have to fight harder. You have to believe, you have to perform. You have to believe in yourself. You cannot be scared.
But they gave us all the tools
They
necessary.
did.
I mean,
They did. I love it. I love
me
it.
too.
Because I don't
Me
think
too.
on my job, I think with my union situation, I
Mhm.
think I was underestimated.
Uh,
You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? And it's nice to be underestimated sometimes.
It
'cause they just
is.
don't
Whoop
see
the
you
clothes
coming.
off of them, girl.
They don't
Whoop
see
the-
you
Yes,
coming.
yes. And even when you take that L,
Mhm.
they show you how to do it with grace.
Mhm.
Dust yourself up and get back
keep-
up. Because
right.
it's not the end.
It's not.
But you want to win. And I fight hard. I fight till the fight is over. That's how I look here. Look here. You don't give up till
I've
it's
seen
over.
her. I have
Yes.
seen her
Yes,
in the
you-
fights,
yes,
and I've always been glad we're on the same side.
Yes, because I'm telling you now,
Uh-huh.
I'm telling you now, I fight hard, I stand strong for what I believe in, and if I am wrong, I am willing to come to you and say, look, I may have gotten that wrong, and I'm going to look at a plan for rerouting that thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to hide my hand because I don't want you to know I made a mistake. I'm human. I'm going to
That's right.
confront the issue. And I'm going to remix that thing. And I'm going to
Okay.
come back for my people because that's how I show
She
up.
said she's gonna remix it.
That's right. That's how I show
It's
up.
gonna be the remix.
Get it right. Remix that thing
I
till
like
you get
that.
it right.
I like that.
A good cook, when they mess up a recipe, they know how to counteract
That's
that
right.
thing.
We're gonna
Put a
fix
pinch of
this.
salt in there. It's too sweet, put a pinch of salt in there. Then. And that's just how it go.
Yeah.
That's how it go. You got to be
Yeah.
willing to, even when it's bad, and even when you might be hanging your head a little low, you still got to show up to the best.
That's right. You do.
So.
Well, before we close, I could just keep talking with you.
We'll meet up again.
We are going to meet up again.
Yes.
Is there anything that we didn't touch on that you want to talk about quickly?
I think we've pretty much covered
Mhm.
everything. What I do want to say is, come August 6th, I would appreciate your support. I would appreciate your vote. I will do you proud. I will not let you down. I will show up for you every time, not sometime. Every time I show up, you know you got somebody sitting there representing your best interest. My name is Carol McIntosh, and I'm running for the 1st Ward City Council seats.
You heard it here, and you heard her.
Yes.
And I thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad you came
Thank you
on
for
and
having
we had
me.
this conversation. We're going to have some more.